We are going to explore the opportunities and legal complexities of doing business in the member states that come under the Organization for the Harmonization of Business Law in Africa, or OHADA. As we navigate through the intricate web of regulations and frameworks, it becomes evident that understanding legalities is not just a matter of compliance, but a crucial element for sustainable growth and success. Our next speaker on the for this session is on the topic of legal contours of doing business in sub-Saharan Africa. The case of OHADA member states will allow us to explore the integral subject matter further. Please join me as we invite Barrister Ayuk Etchu Agbor Nkongho to the stage, who is the president of the Cameroon Union of Young Lawyers. Thank you, as he makes his way to the stage.
Hello, everyone. We're almost at the end of the day, I guess, so we all tired. And I'd like to ask everybody to probably, can we just stand up and sit down for 1 second again, just rise up so we kind of refresh ourselves, and we've been immobile for a while. Yeah? So if we could just stretch a little bit, and then we'll go down straight into business. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So I feel very delighted to be here with you guys today. I feel especially very opportune to discuss legal issues related to lawyers in sub-Saharan Africa. So who we are, Cameroon Union of Young Lawyers, it's a group of young lawyers who've come together with over 500, more than 500 members who together, we put the resources together to be able to mentor each other, build a very strong network, and to also create business opportunities and go out for new opportunities which we find out in the world. So the topic which I'm going to talk about here is, I'm not going to dwell on this. I'm going to talk about a little bit everything about who we are and the purpose, advantages, and then I'll be telling you about what we seek to achieve. So this is just a presentation about OHADA. Now, OHADA is, I will share this with everybody later by email. So OHADA is an organization of business law in Africa, which applies in 17 African countries, which creates a single market, a very important single market, mostly French-speaking African countries. Why, you might be wondering why French-speaking African countries. There's lots of opportunities in those countries in terms of collaboration, in terms of investments in key areas, energy, mining, agriculture, a little bit of oil and gas, although we're moving away from oil and gas to renewable energy. So there's quite a great opportunity in that. So as I said, you know, this is a general overview of all the rules and regulations, especially when it comes to commercial companies. So who are we, Cameroon Union of Young Lawyers? I had the opportunity to meet the former president of the bar in Washington here. He's right there, and I had a chat with him, which inspired me very much. And I really, really appreciate being here today. Taking that home, meeting him and taking that home with me is very, very important. By the way, I'm inviting him to come and speak to young lawyers and encourage us how to have a dimensional and international dimension of law practice. Thank you again, once more, Grace. So who are we and where we are? Africa is today the attention of the world in terms of raw materials and in terms of even in terms of sharing or providing services. We have a very raw market, Africa. You know, the numbers are astronomical when you think about the exports and the goods and services that come to Africa, and that, I mean, the trading with Africa and the rest of the world. So we Cameroon Union of Young Lawyers, we've decided to go at the conquest of the world, to discover the world, and not just sit down like the traditional lawyers waiting for briefs or clients, but we want to build strong and reliable partnerships with firms and be more of an entrepreneurial kind of spirit lawyer. We don't want to just sit down and say, okay, we're referring you. We want to identify the opportunities, work with the key people who are qualified, who've got this necessary skill, and bring them back to the continent. And so we will be a natural reflection of whoever we're working with. So this is something we plan to do on a wide, kind of a wide label basis. You know, say for example, if I partner with a lawyer in Las Vegas who specializes in tax law, for example, and you have a global client who has a global outreach and has an issue in Cameroon or one of the French or other member countries, you can reach out to us, and then because we understand the law and we understand the context in which you operate this way, we would have a seamless submission or a seamless application, or we'll be able to manage the client as if it's an extension of yourself. So in all of this, we have key areas which are now very, very important, and which are very areas which are very very recurrent when you see them today. I mean, today Africa, Cameroon, the country which we come from, we are one of the pilot countries for the African Continental Free Trade Zone implementation. Has anyone heard about the African Free Trade implementation yet, please? If anyone, just raise your hand. And has anyone got to do any business with Africa in recent times? Now, the African Free Trade, it comes a mixed blessing. It's a whole topic which we have to handle on a different day. It takes a long time. Now, we would now see things like barrier tariffs history, probably history, without the history. We'll never talk about that. Then we'll now see there'll be an increase in global mobility services, because there'll be free trade, there'll be free movements of goods and services, and people. So that increases kind of a business, increases the market. Even for you, attorneys out here, you should consider that immigration is one of those things. We receive quite a lot of briefs from the US for clients multinationals who have employees going around the world. So we get to advise them in areas in different countries, French-speaking African countries. And so that's an area which we could collaborate and come up with something. Not necessarily having to do with, not only having to do with the global mobility service, but we could create a niche program which we can enhance our services which we offer to our clients and have a global reach. Now, has anyone here done business in French-speaking Africa? It's a shame the hall is almost empty, but has anyone here done business? There is a daunting and very misleading impression of doing business in Africa. It's true that there's a World Bank report every year that comes up with doing business in Africa, but I'll tell you what, even the most wicked man in the world has a personal friend who he confides in. So Africa is not only about having a bad area or having the gray area, but listen, if you get the right people, you build the right network, you would have a soft landing in Africa. And that's what we, the members of the Cameroon Union of Young Lawyers, want to provide to you guys. That assurance, that certainty that if your client is investing in Africa, you're sure that there's a certain security which comes with you investing in Africa. That's who we are, Cameroon Union of Young Lawyers, and that's what we seek to achieve by coming out to conquer the world, I would say. It's a long way, Cameroon, to get here. We traveled almost 2 days, and it's very encouraging to meet people like yourself whom we have the same way of thinking. We use the same thought process to solve problems, and we're very, very delighted. The different panels today, discrimination, debunking the myth of discrimination, inclusive diversity, and all of that, are those things which are our cornerstone as well in terms of how we want to progress. You know, so we want to be. I keep stressing this point that we want to be a natural extension of whichever services or whichever way you can provide, and you can trust us that we have a very, very broad experience and knowledge of the market. I mean, we've advised Fortune 500 companies out in the U.S. We've advised Facebook about data privacy protection within the regions. We've worked with General Electric. We've worked with we work with the World Bank on structural processes and financing, corporate financing. And right here we have a lot of. Right here I came with a team of lawyers who I would say are raw talents, dedicated and ready to face whatever adversity in terms of providing you guys with top-notch quality legal services within our region. And if you don't mind, I think I'm not caught up by time, I would like to introduce the people whom I came here with. Mr. Bandari Panti, who is specializes in the blockchain and cryptocurrency, is right here. Mr. Onana Martial, who is a specialist in agricultural projects, is right here. We have Ms. Kwe Amugu, who specializes in data privacy protection, and we have Esther Mandeng, who specializes in energy and infrastructure. She advises clients on energy and infrastructure. We'll also have Aloysius Aloy, who specializes in telecommunications. So this is the team. We came all the way from Cameroon to tell you we are ready for business. We want to carry out, we want to have a decent and very mutually respectful relationship with the rest of the world. And you should know that there's raw talent in that part of the world. If we come up with a proper combination and put together the necessary efforts, we would build a strong, reputable team of talented young lawyers and experienced lawyers and multinational technologically advanced law firms. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I want to thank the organizers of this conference again. It's the first time, very first time, and we're looking forward to the next edition. I would have loved to have a hall which was full to the brim, but I mean, what matters to us is the people, the quality of people we've met and the quality of people we get to speak with. And I'm sure the meeting continues tomorrow. We'll be able to speak with you guys one-on-one. We have a stand out there, which is called UJAC. The Cameroon, you can see it on the right, on the left side of the hall, bottom left side of the hall. So please feel free to come, stop by, pick up the business cards of all the lawyers that's introduced to you, and there is definitely business, and there's business for us to do, and there's work for us to do. Without saying too much, thank you very much for your kind attention, and have a good evening. See you guys tomorrow.